This strategy that I'm about to teach you right now doesn't require fancy ICT concepts like daily bias, market structure shift, fair value gaps, none of that. Matter of fact, we're not going to be using any ICT concept for this strategy because let's be real, ICT is not for everyone. Okay, and while it is complicated, it can generate good returns. But what if I told you that I've simplified trading so much, and specifically for this one pair GBP USD, and we're not looking at anything else? We're only trading GBP USD for this strategy because the truth is this strategy only works with GBP USD. Also, this strategy has a very high win rate. And it is a two-step process. You don't need to overanalyze the markets. You don't need to look at the high time frames. You only need one candle, a 15-minute candle, and that is pretty much it. And go and backtest after watching this video. Please don't comment before watching this entire video. Go, first of all, watch this entire video, and then go and backtest this model. If you don't see results, just unsubscribe me, comment something negative as shit, and then just, never come back to my channel. Also report my channel, fuck that, all right? So here is the strategy. GBP USD only, no ICT concepts, and 15-minute time frame only. We are not looking at anything. Only two things, one candle and time, okay? So the very first step that you have to do is mark out the high. So let me just do that. So you want to mark out the high and low of the 3 a.m. candle. Okay, so that is during London session. The first 15-minute candle, the 3 a.m. candle. Remember that. Now, once you have marked out the high and the low, all you are basically doing is looking for price to either close above it or below it. So let's say price closes below it, all right, below the 3 a.m. 15-minute candle. And again, we are only trading on the 15 minutes. So the next candle closes below the 3 a.m. candle. And as you know, this strategy is also called ORB, but there are some tweaks that I've done in order to make this strategy work even better and with a very high win rate. So let's say that candle closes far away from this low. So this is your entry. You take your entry on the retest of this low that we broke, okay? And pretty much you're gonna put your short position here, take a short position, put your stop above this high, so the high of the 3 a.m. candle, and simply go for 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Now, let's say price closes here. In that case, you don't need a retest, just enter aggressively. Because if you miss out on a small, like if your stop loss is a bit, big, it doesn't matter. So take your entry from here, and sometimes price will just shoot down like that. It is really that simple, okay? I'm not gonna teach you fancy stuff in this video, guys. I'm sorry if you were looking for that. I'm here to simplify trading for you guys, and if you cannot understand this, then I don't know what to say. And I know I've been uploading ICT content, but honestly, if you cannot trade ICT, just trade this model and you will pass your prof from challenges, especially FTMO. Just trade GBP USD. Now, similarly, if price closes above the 3 a.m. candle, then take your entry and pretty much go for 1 to 2. Now, here are some rules. You go break even at 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So as soon as price hits 1 to 1 risk to reward after your entry, you are going break even. Now, here are some extra confluences that you should look at, but they are not necessary. So if Asia session consolidates, then that means that the London session is going to expand. So if you take like a 3 a.m. candle breakout trade, it's going to work out in your favor a lot of times. But what if the Asia session expands, right? So you get big moves during Asia. Well, that means that the price action is likely to be consolidating during London session. So in that case, you want to avoid trading this setup. But it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. you know, you are going to be profitable and you are going to make shit ton of money. I'm going to give you guys a lot of examples in this video. I'm going to explain less because there's nothing much to explain in this video, but I'm going to give you so many examples that you will go back and thank me. Trust me on this, all right? So now that we've understood the strategy, let me give you guys some examples. But before I do that, there's one more thing that I need to tell you. So let's say that you have marked out the 3 a.m. candle high. All right, let me just do that again. And the low. So you have marked out the high of the 3 a.m. 15-minute candle and the low. Now let's say that you take your entry after the breakout, but it just stops you out, right? It hits the stop loss. But what you can do is if price closes back in the opposite direction, so for example, first we closed above this high, but then it didn't play out, but then we went back down and closed below the low of 3 a.m. candle, then you can take a short position. It's all right, okay? Take 2 trades if that happens. And that is pretty much the entire strategy. Now, let me give you guys a gazillion examples so you understand everything correctly. All right, so here is example number 1. And you can see we have the 3 a.m. candle right here. Make sure your time zone is set to New York. And once you have the 3 a.m. candle, mark out the low and the high of this candle. Then if I go forward, you're gonna see that we close below it. Now, as you can see, we close slightly below it, so you don't need a retest entry. You can enter aggressively. Then put your stop above the high and go for 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. Simple as that. And bam, right there, your TP is hit. Let me give you guys a couple of more examples. All right, so here is example number 2. We have the 3 a.m. candle high and the low. So let's go forward. And you can see we had a lot of rejections first. So we're waiting for a body closure, not the wick, all right? So remember that. All we need is a closure above or below it. And you can see that we got a closure just above it right here. And since the body closed slightly above it, we don't need a retest. Now put your stop below the low over here. And then just go for 1 to 2 risk to reward. Of course, you're going to go break even at 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And pretty much the trade hits the TP and then it reverses back down. Pretty simple. Let's move on to the next example. All right, so here is another example. And you can see the Asia session was just consolidating. Okay, so make sure, try to just add this confluence into your trading, and that's going to help you navigate through unnecessary losses. So over here, we have the 3 a.m. candle. Simply mark out the high and the low, and then just wait for a breakout. Okay, so as soon as you see a breakout, okay, just take your entry, and since we closed slightly below it, we don't need a retest. You just put your stop right above the high of that 3 a.m. candle, and you go for 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and bam, right there we hit 1 to 2 risk to reward. We are out of the markets, and we're not looking back. We're not taking any trades. And if you, first of all, what you need to do is don't test 1 or 2 days and then just call the strategy bullshit. You have to test for an entire month at least, take at least 50 trades, and then decide whether the strategy is good or not. If you just look at 2-3 setups that didn't work out, bro, then trading is simply not for you, because you are expecting something that has like a 90% win rate. It doesn't work like that, okay? As long as you have a small edge in the market, you are going to make money, and this strategy is going to help you pass your prop firm challenges, especially FTMO, with ease, okay? You don't need to overcomplicate shit. Just trade this pattern, and this strategy has been working for so many years. I wish I could give you all the examples, but let's move on to the next one. All right, so here is another example. We have the 3 a.m. candle, and we just mark out the high and the low. Okay, so now you can see that the Asia session was just consolidating, so that means that the London session is going to expand, right? So we are waiting for price to break above or below it and close above or below it, right? So right here we have a closure, and as you can see that we slightly closed below it, so we don't need a retest for our entry. We just enter aggressively. And if I play this through, you're gonna see that we hit our TP. We did go into some drawdown, but you can see our stop loss is at a logical level, so you would have navigated this loss, and that your TP would have been fully hit. Let's move on to the next example now. All right, so we have another example, and as you can see that the Asia session was just consolidating. Again, this is not necessary, but again, it's just going to help you navigate losses. So if Asia consolidates, that means that London is going to expand, and it's going to give you good price action. So we have the 3 a.m. high and the 3 a.m. low on the 15 minute. We're not using any other time frame. And then we're just waiting for a closure above it. So we get consolidation here, but eventually we just get a long entry position signal here. You simply go for 1 to 2 risk to reward, and let's see how this plays out. Bam, right there, TP hit, and we are out of the trade. We are done for the day, and probably we have passed our FTMO challenge by now. Now here is a different example, and that's how you would have navigated these markets, okay? So of course the Asia session was consolidating. You can see that the blue box is just sideways, right? So that means that the Asia consolidated. Now mark out the 3 a.m. high and the low, and in this case we're gonna take a loss first. So as you can see, we closed below the 3 a.m. candle, so that would have been your entry. Your stop would go right above the high, and let's see how this plays out. We did go, probably we just got closer to break even. No, we didn't. So now we got stopped out. So now what we can do is take a reversal position as soon as we close above it. We cannot take another short position. We are done with that, okay? But right here, we got a closure above it. So even though we took a loss here, let's see how it goes. And again, stop loss always goes below the low or high of the 3 a.m. candle. And again, we're gonna go for a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. And as I play this, you can see in just one candle, we hit our full TP and then we reversed. Again, 1 to 2 is optimized take profit level for this strategy. Don't chase big numbers because you're not going to see consistency. I've tested this strategy for so many months, right? I just know what works best for this one. And the best thing about this, it's stupid simple. You don't need to overcomplicate stuff. Again, go back test first and then come back. Otherwise, if you're commenting unnecessarily without even watching the video, then I don't know what to say. All right, so I'm gonna give you 2 more examples, and this is one of the first. So we have the 3 a.m. candle high. We're waiting for a breakout above or below it. So we have a breakout, but notice that we closed far away from this low. So in that case, you wanna be taking your entry from the retest of this low. You're gonna put your stop right above the high, and you're gonna go for 1 to 2. So let's see how this plays out. Now let's go break even at 1 to 1 when that is hit. And that was the break-even zone, and then eventually we hit our take profit level. Pretty simple, right? Again, Asia consolidated, so that means that we're gonna get manipulation and then distribution. I'm not gonna go into ICT concept, F that. Just focus on this 3 a.m. candle, guys. Trust me, okay? Let me give you guys one more example, and then I'm gonna end the video. All right, guys, so here's the last example, and as you can see, Asia session was consolidating. Again, that means that we're gonna expand during London. Again, I don't want to talk about ICT, but you get the idea, right? So we have the 3 a.m. candle, and again, this is not necessary. Just trade this freaking candle. You don't need anything else, I promise you. So mark out the high and the low of the 3 a.m. candle on the 15 minute. Wait for a breakout above or below it. You don't need bias. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't need to look at high time frames trend. Just trade this mechanical setup that happens every single day. So we closed here just slightly below it, so we don't need a retest entry. Put your stop above the high and just go for 1 to 2 risk to reward. It's simple as that, guys. And bam, right there, full TP hit. We are done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this strategy. Please go back test, and once you see results, start using it in on your prop firm challenges. You are definitely going to pass your challenges and get funded and get payouts if you follow this like a robot. This is a mechanical strategy. You don't need to look at anything else. Again, if you just implement this one confluence, that if the Asia is consolidating, that means the London is going to like expand and stuff. But anyways, that is it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. And yeah, this is only like one non-ICT video. I only trade ICT, and usually this with GBP USD when I'm on my FTMO accounts. But other than that, I trade ICT, and I'm always going to be trading ICT with NQ and stuff because it kind of suits my trading style. Bye-bye.